Have you ever felt that familiar rush of needing to get smart on a topic, like fast, but then immediately felt overwhelmed by the sheer mountain of articles, research, and notes? It's like trying to drink from a fire hose, isn't it? If that sounds familiar, then you're definitely in for something interesting today. We're taking a deep dive into Perplexity AI. Now, this isn't just another search bar you type into. It's a genuinely revolutionary tool that's quietly but profoundly reshaping how we interact with information and knowledge itself.
Exactly. Our mission today is really to cut through that noise and figure out what Perplexity AI is all about. We'll look at its core functions, the pretty advanced tech that makes it work, how you can actually use it for, well, everything from deep research to creating content, and crucially, the sort of ethical side of things that comes with such a powerful tool.
Right. We've sifted through a whole stack of sources you brought in, pulling out the key bits to help you shortcut your way to being genuinely well informed about this really innovative technology. So, okay, we're talking about cutting through the noise, but maybe before we get into the weeds, for someone who hasn't really come across it, how would you describe its fundamental difference from, say, just using Google?
Yeah, that's a great place to start because it is fundamentally different. Think of Perplexity AI as an answer engine, not really just a search engine. Instead of just giving you a list of blue links, it uses advanced natural language processing NLP to properly understand your sometimes quite complex questions. Then it synthesizes information from multiple sources to give you a concise answer with citations. It doesn't just look for keywords, it tries to grasp the actual intent behind your question.
That distinction feels huge. It sounds like it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, the summarizing, the comparing for you. What's the real game changer here, based on what we've read?
Well, the key takeaway isn't just that it makes things simpler, though it does. It's that it moves beyond that list of links to give you curated, attributed answers. Every piece of information, every main point it makes, comes with direct citations to the sources. That's a really significant step forward for transparency in these AI tools. It saves you potentially hours of hunting down sources, lets you quickly check the accuracy, and dive deeper if you want to. This kind of attribute-first approach, well, it seems poised to really change how we trust and use online info.
So it's about getting trusted contextual answers, like right there. That sounds incredibly useful for anyone feeling buried in information. Okay, we've sort of covered what it is, but the real magic is how it does it, right? What's the tech that makes this possible? It sounds pretty complex.
Oh, it is. The magic is definitely under the hood. It's a fascinating mix of sophisticated technologies. You can think of it as having three main pillars. First, it's built on really strong natural language processing, NLP foundations. This is the AI's ability to genuinely understand human language, not just the words you type, but the nuances, the context, even sort of subtle things behind your query. This is absolutely key for, effective human-machine interaction. It goes way beyond simple keyword matching.
Okay, so understanding the meaning, not just the words, what's the second pillar?
Second, it uses sophisticated neural network architecture. Imagine these networks almost like a super efficient detective for language patterns. Unlike older search methods that just look for keywords, these networks are loosely modeled on how we think the human brain works. They spot the subtle, complex relationships between words and ideas. This lets Perplexity AI understand the nuance in your question and give answers that feel almost intuitive, even for really tricky topics. They learn from huge amounts of data, constantly getting better at connecting the dots.
Right, learning patterns. And the third,
And third, it uses advanced language modeling techniques, specifically tapping into deep learning. Now, if machine learning is about learning from data, deep learning kind of takes that to another level. It allows the AI not just to understand, but also to generate text that sounds human, predicting the best way to answer your question, almost like it's guessing what you need next. This continuous learning and prediction keeps Perplexity AI really relevant and up to date with how language changes and new information that pops up.
it sounds incredibly sophisticated. When you talk about neural networks and deep learning, it's less like a sterile data center and more like, I don't know, an intricate living digital brain.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Picture this huge interconnected web of digital neurons constantly firing, rewiring as they process information. It's like this unseen, relentless learning engine powering Perplexity AI. It maps out all the complex relationships in language, kind of like a detective piecing together clues for a complex case, all to get you that precise answer.
Understanding the tech is fascinating, but for a lot of us, the big question is, how do we actually use this thing? Let's get practical. How do you, our listener, actually get started with Perplexity AI?
Yeah, good question. It's actually surprisingly easy to jump in. Your first step is just creating an account. You go to the Perplexity AI website, follow the usual sign-up steps, give some basic info, and a quick but important tip here for security. Make sure you use a strong, unique password. Yeah. That's just good practice anywhere online, really.
Standard security stuff. Okay, so you're signed up. What's next?
Once you're in, you'll see it has a really user-friendly interface. The main dashboard is designed to be your hub, making it easy to find things like text analysis tools and those NLP-driven insights we talked about. It feels pretty intuitive, so you shouldn't feel lost. You can basically start asking questions right away.
Okay, straightforward enough.
And one last thing when starting. Take a little time to set up your preferences. This lets you kind of tune the tool for what you need it for. Maybe you're doing heavy academic research, or maybe you're generating blog post ideas or analyzing data. The sources we looked at really emphasize that the right tools, when used effectively, can significantly enhance productivity and insight. So customizing Perplexity AI helps you get the most out of it for your specific tasks.
That makes total sense, tailoring it to your needs. So once you're actually in and ready to ask something, what's maybe the biggest mistake people make with their first few searches? How can they ask better questions from the get-go?
That's a really good point. The most common mistake is probably treating it like a standard keyword search. Just typing in a few isolated words. With Perplexity AI, because of its advanced language understanding, you really want to aim for clear, specific questions. Think of it more like you're talking to a very knowledgeable research assistant. Use relevant keywords, sure, but try to structure your query like a natural question. The more context you provide, the better it understands what you're actually looking for, and the more precise the answers will be.
Okay, so ask it like you'd ask a person. Then what about the results? How do you interpret what it gives back?
Right. Understanding the results is the next key step. Perplexity AI doesn't just give you an answer. It gives you the answer, plus the citations and sources that back it up. That's a huge difference from a lot of other AI chatbots out there.
The citations seem crucial.
They really are. They're vital for checking the information. You can click through, see where it came from, judge the credibility of the sources, and explore deeper if you need to. And when you're looking at the answer itself, you want to evaluate its quality based on relevance. Does it actually answer your question, accuracy, and how comprehensive it is? Is it well supported by those credible sources? That's really the gold standard Perplexity AI is shooting for.
Okay, that makes sense. Check the answer, check the sources. Now, for people ready to, level up beyond basic questions, Perplexity AI offers some more advanced search techniques. What are some of the most useful ones?
Oh yeah, definitely. If you want to get more power out of it, mastering operators and filters is a big one. Just like you might in a database search, you can use quotation marks to find an exact phrase. You can use a minus sign to exclude certain terms if you're getting your relevant results. And importantly, you can apply filters. Maybe you only want results from the last year or from academic domains or maybe even specific types of files. This helps you cut through the noise significantly, especially if your search term is a bit ambiguous.
So narrowing it down precisely. What else?
Another really powerful technique is domain-specific searching. This lets you tell Perplexity AI to focus its search within a particular area. Maybe you only want information from academic journals or news sites or maybe a specific industry forum. This is where its NLP understanding really comes into play because it gets the specific context and language used in that domain, which stops you getting unrelated stuff from the wider web.
Okay, focusing the search. That sounds useful for researchers.
Exactly. And speaking of research, there's also comparative analysis. This feature is fantastic if you need to weigh up different viewpoints or pieces of information. Perplexity AI can actually take two or more sources or topics and compare them side by side. It uses its machine learning smarts to highlight the key differences and similarities. This gives you a much deeper, more nuanced grasp of complex subjects than just reading things separately. The process is pretty simple. You tell it what you want to compare, use the comparison tools, and then look at the structured results it spits out.
Okay, so these advanced tools are great. How can people put this power to work in practical ways? Let's start with research maybe for academics or anyone doing really deep investigation.
Yeah, for academic research, it can be a massive time saver. It offers these advanced tools for analysis and retrieval that can seriously streamline your workflow. Think about doing literature reviews that can help you quickly find the most relevant studies, summarize key findings from dozens of papers, or even zero in on specific research methods used. It just speeds up that whole data collection phase enormously. We saw a mention of a researcher who used it to find a gap in the literature that traditional methods had missed for ages. So huge potential there.
Wow, okay. And what about making sure the information is solid?
It also has really solid methods for data verification baked in. It's almost like having a super fast fact-checking assistant. You can quickly cross-validate claims against multiple sources it finds, check things against established databases, and even analyze data trends it pulls together to ensure your information is reliable. And if you're building your own knowledge base, say for a project or company, it's great for organizing and structuring all that complex information so it's easy to access later.
That sounds incredibly useful for researchers. But what about outside academia? If you're creating content, blog posts, articles, maybe even scripts like this one, how can it help you?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just for researchers. For content creators, Perplexity AI can be an amazing partner. It's fantastic for brainstorming. You can give it a broad topic, and it can help generate ideas, suggest angles, and even create detailed outlines by analyzing tons of related content for relevant points. It can help you build out a really comprehensive structure, suggesting key arguments or sections, and help you refine your ideas by expanding on points you might not have thought of initially.
Like a brainstorming buddy.
What else? Fact-checking, which we know is vital for creators. Perplexity AI makes it so much easier. You can just paste in a statement or fact you want to check, and it will quickly scan its sources to verify it, helping you ensure your content is accurate before you publish. Big time saver and peace of mind. And finally, it can genuinely help improve your writing through AI insights. It can analyze your draft and suggest ways to make it better based on its deep understanding of language. For clarity, it might suggest simplifying complex sentences. For coherence, it can help make sure your ideas flow logically. And for style, it can offer ways to vary your language or adjust the tone to keep your audience engaged. It's like having a super smart editor and research assistant rolled into one.
Okay, so it's powerful on its own, but can Perplexity AI, play nice with the other tools you might already be using every day? Can it fit into an existing workflow?
Yes, absolutely. That seems to be a core part of its design. It's built to be compatible with a lot of different platforms and services. The common productivity software, specialized text analysis tools, research management apps. The aim is really to enhance what you already use, not necessarily make you switch everything over.
So it integrates. How does that work technically?
For deeper integrations, especially for businesses or developers, they offer an API. An API that's Application Programming Interface is basically a way for different software programs to talk to each other securely. As one of the sources put it, API integration is key to unlocking the full potential of AI tools like Perplexity AI. It calls APIs the bridges that connect different software systems, allowing them to share data and work together. This lets other applications tap into Perplexity's advanced language processing power directly.
Okay, so APIs are the connectors. What does that enable in practice?
Well, this API access really opens the door to significant workflow automation possibilities. If you combine Perplexity AI with other automation platforms, you could potentially streamline all sorts of repetitive tasks. Imagine automatically having it summarize key points from daily industry news feeds relevant to you, or maybe taking your scattered research notes and synthesizing them into a first draft summary. It's about automating the grunt work to free you up for more strategic thinking or creative tasks.
So thinking about that interconnectedness, it's less about some sci-fi command center and more about making your own digital tools, your notes app, your project manager, whatever, just work smarter together, right? With this AI working behind the scenes.
That's precisely it. It's about embedding that intelligence into the tools you already use to make them more powerful and your overall workflow more efficient.
Of course, no tech is ever perfect. What happens if you run into problems using Perplexity AI? What are some common snags and how can people troubleshoot them?
Right, good point. Things can go wrong, but usually there are fixes. If you feel like your search results are limited, maybe they're not quite what you wanted, the first thing to try is refining your query. Be more specific, try different keywords, and definitely play around with those advanced filters we mentioned earlier, like dates or domains. That often helps narrow things down effectively.
Okay, refine the search. What if the results just seem wrong?
Yeah, inaccurate results can happen occasionally with any AI. Don't just trust it blindly. First, try adjusting your search terms again, maybe rephrase the question. But crucially, always check the cited sources that Perplexity provides. That's your verification step. Click through, see what the original source actually says. That helps you figure out if maybe a source wasn't great or if the AI just misunderstood the nuance of something.
Good advice. Check the sources. What about technical glitches, like it's slow or won't connect?
If you hit connection or performance issues, the usual suspects apply. First, check your own internet connection. Is it stable? If that's okay, try clearing your web browser's cache and cookies, or maybe updating your browser to the latest version. Sometimes these simple things fix weird glitches. And of course, it's worth doing a quick search to see if Perplexity AI itself is reporting any service outages. Sometimes the problem isn't on your end at all.
Makes sense. Standard tech troubleshooting. Now, as we lean more on these incredibly powerful AI tools, the whole conversation around privacy, ethics, digital responsibility becomes really critical. What should you, our listener, be aware of with Perplexity AI specifically?
This is a super important discussion. You need to know that Perplexity AI, like pretty much any online service, has data usage policies. These spell out how your data, your searches, your interactions is collected, stored, and potentially used, often to improve the service. We always recommend taking a few minutes to actually look at the privacy settings available in your account and read through the terms of service. Understanding these helps you make informed choices about your data.
So know what you're agreeing to. What about protecting your information?
Exactly. And protecting your info is definitely a shared responsibility. Perplexity AI will have its security measures in place, things like encryption and secure servers. But you, as the user, also need to be proactive. Use strong, unique passwords. We mentioned that before, but it's crucial. Be mindful of the sensitivity of the information you're actually putting into the search box. And just generally be cautious, as you would on any online platform. Checking your account settings periodically is also a good habit.
Right. User responsibility is key. And the broader ethics.
Beyond individual data, there's the wider ethical use of AI. This involves principles like transparency, trying to understand as much as possible how the AI reaches its answers. It involves accountability when things go wrong, and a fundamental respect for user privacy. It also includes things like developers working to avoid biases creeping into the algorithms, and all of us thinking about the societal impacts of these tools. It's really an ongoing dialogue that needs to happen between users, the companies building the AI, and society as a whole to make sure these tools are used responsibly and beneficially.
It's clear Perplexity AI is a powerful tool, but where is it actually making a difference in the real world right now? For businesses, maybe in education, or even just in your day-to-day life?
Oh, its impact is becoming quite broad and really tangible. In the business world, companies are using it for business intelligence, not just finding generic trends, but getting really specific insights from complex data. One source mentioned a company that used it to pinpoint the exact demographic reason behind a sales dip. They then launched a targeted campaign based on that insight and apparently recovered about 15% market share pretty quickly. That's proper predictive analytics making a real difference.
Wow, that's specific. What about education?
In education, it's starting to make waves in creating more personalized learning. By analyzing how a student interacts, learns, maybe where they struggle, you can help educators develop customized learning plans. It can adapt to individual paces and knowledge gaps, potentially making education more effective for each student.
And just for us, regular folks, personal productivity.
Yeah, definitely. For personal productivity, people are finding all sorts of ways to use it to streamline daily tasks, sometimes in ways you wouldn't immediately think of. Things like quickly getting the gist of long email chains, or doing fast, reliable research for a personal project or hobby, or even drafting emails or messages. Essentially, it helps automate those routine information gathering and summarizing tasks, which frees up your mental energy for more important or creative things. It can genuinely enhance your daily workflow.
What an exploration. We've really seen Perplexity AI emerge not just as, another search tool, but as this groundbreaking answer engine. It leverages that advanced NLP and those algorithms to truly revolutionize how we find, check, and understand information by giving us these curated, cited answers.
Indeed. We've gone from its core tech, the neural networks, the deep learning, right through to its very diverse practical uses in academic research, content creation, business intelligence, and even just boosting our personal productivity. It really does offer a powerful toolkit for unlocking new insights and making our interaction with information much more efficient.
And looking ahead, the potential for even more growth, more innovation, and discovery using this kind of technology feels vast. It really points towards even smarter, more personalized ways of interacting with information in the future.
Which actually brings us to a final thought, a question really for you, our listener. In a world where AI like Perplexity can so effectively synthesize information, verify facts, even generate coherent text, what new skills do you think become most valuable for your own critical thinking and learning to really navigate and thrive in this rapidly evolving digital landscape?